Pendell's speech is entitled Speeches That Changed the Course of Oratory. What does de Montmorency's of Athens, Patrick Henry, Queen Elizabeth I of England, Madame Marie Curie, Susan B. Anthony, Mark Anthony, Abraham Lincoln, and Pendell Pittman all have in common? They're all famous? Oh, well, not exactly. They're all really old. Well, maybe not that old. I guess we have to listen as Pendell gives his second icebreaker speech. Help me welcome Pendell Pittman.
Sure. Oratory, the rationale and practice of persuasive public speaking. Now Reed asked the question, what do all of those famous people, plus me, have in common? It would be that we are all students of oratory. These diverse people made history, and history made them, because, in part, of their ability to persuade people. I've always wanted to be an orator. However, I didn't start as an orator. I actually started early in life at age 5 as a performer. My first gig was for the Dallas Zoo. All the animals in the zoo were jumping up and down for you, asking you to be sure to plan to visit the zoo as soon as you can. That was a $5 gig. I was now a professional. 20 years later, at 25, I had 3.5 college degrees. I had won the Metropolitan Opera auditions. I was touring, and I thought I was hot stuff. I decided to make a speech one day when we were touring and going into a new theater. We got there in the afternoon. The performance was going to be in the evening. We walked through this bay door at the side of the stage to bring in all the props and sets and so forth. The stage was dark. There was only the ghost light in the middle. You know, that one bulb that shows the floor. I walked in, my cast was behind me, and I saw a forestage there in front of the stage. So I thought, what better time than to engage in oratory? I walked toward the lip of the stage. I delivered my speech, unaccustomed as I am to public speaking, and I took a step onto the forestage, except it wasn't a forestage, it was the orchestra pit. Whoa! Down I went. I broke many things that day, including a few music stands, a few bones, a kettle drum, and my pride. This was much of a bombast like Patrick Henry, who we will study. Give me liberty or give me death! His bombast actually changed the course of American history, or helped to do so. We will study him in the weeks ahead, because not only is this an icebreaker, a me speech, it is also an introduction to a series I'd like to do here at Peak called Speeches That Changed the Course of Oratory. After that descent into the orchestra pit, I took a week off of the tour to recuperate. And I visited an intentional community, which was the headquarters of a worldwide humanistic society. I sang a magical concert there. It was magical not because of me and my great experience in attempting to blow everybody's hair back with loud vocal sounds. It was magical because of the audience. You know how we have it here in Peak. There's not only a giving out from the speaker, there's also a giving back from the audience. That interested audience that can give the essence of life to the speaker and start this wonderful symbiotic relationship and generate something wonderful. I felt that day. That concert was life-changing for me and career-changing. Very soon I gave up the tour bus, and I became the performing arts director for the society. This meant I got to travel the world, and I was very welcome because I would give money away to deserving performing arts groups. One of my roles was also to manage big world events and the music for big world events. For example, for the first Earth Days, Festival for Humanity, the World Forum for the New Age. And what I found, as wonderful as it was to perform music with wonderful people, I longed to be an orator. Because the people who spoke at these events were amazing. They changed lives. They were inspiring. They were cogent. They were compelling speakers like Mahatma Gandhi was. Like Mark Antony, who Shakespeare made famous with the world's most recited speech. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears, etc. Abraham Lincoln, the Gettysburg Address, 270 words, which, for my money, is the best speech ever written. That is an amazing piece, and it changed the course of not only oratory, but history. I wanted to be like those orators. Why? Because persuasive public speaking changes lives. It is not like the media drone that we have, sound bites that are there to model the subconscious, to bypass conscious, self-governed thought, and to form habits and addictions of attitudes in people. I would submit that an organization or a system of any kind in which not everyone has their own self-governed, decisive thought is a cult. And there are numerous cults, I would say, in the world. Why? Because of power mongers? Well, maybe. But because there is an inability or an unwillingness or an inattention sometimes on the part of people to have self-governed, conscious thought. So why do I want to be an orator? Well, when I first started Toastmasters, actually 2.5 years almost to the day, I had no problem performing. I had entertained for thousands of people, no problem. But to stand up and give a cogent speech, to be able to put out a logical line of thought, like Susan B. Anthony, who changed the course of women's voters' rights because of her ability to put forth an ironclad logical presentation, was something I aspired to. Queen of England, #1, in 1588, had to find a way to be herself with her soldiers, her beleaguered soldiers, outnumbered, who had to go and fight off the Spanish Armada. And here she was, a relatively weak woman. She was authentic. I found I was having a challenge being authentic in a room of 20 people. I was still busy performing. And you know what some of my first critiques were after we got past the politeness of the icebreaker and all of that? It was, we don't feel you. We don't feel your authentic self. And I began to realize that Toastmasters was going to play a key role in my development as an orator. Because orators are authentic if they're going to be compelling. So I'm very grateful to Toastmasters. I'm very grateful to Peak Performance. I think we follow in the footsteps of tremendous orators. And why is it important? I feel that each one of us is responsible to bring our specific thoughts, our specific expression on earth, and to persuade people to do what? To come up with their own thoughts, to come up with their own unique, creative expression. So, is what we're doing important? Absolutely. Do I feel a sense of mission with you? I certainly do. And so I'm thankful to be able to start this second run at the basics with the Competent Communicator Manual, and I look forward to sharing our series of compelling speakers with you. Thank you very much.